Morning, everybody. Great to see everybody today. Thanks for hopping on. I want to say hello to our YouTube audience today, too. And thank you, guys, for joining us in the Sacred Energy of Circle. And today you're going to be able to watch our evidential mediums as they connect with people who have crossed over to the other side and deliver messages from those people. And our hope is that by watching our mediums at work, you'll come to understand that the loved ones that you think you have lost are still, in fact, with you. So please join us as we open with a prayer. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make this circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. Okay, so how about if we go 10 minutes each with limited feedback in the room, if that works for everybody? Okay, and whenever anybody gets a link, just go ahead and jump on in, okay?
I can start us.
Thank you, Rainey.
I think I'm being drawn to Elise, but everybody continue to listen. Elise, can I work with you?
Yes.
I have a woman here. And she's showing me this beautiful scene of like a celestial. It's almost like she's looking down through the universe and she's showing like all these beautiful stars and Milky Way. And she's showing me a crescent moon. I feel this woman was very spiritual and you knew her. You and her were close and she could talk to you about spiritual things. Would you understand who I'm speaking about?
Yes, I do believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
She had such a positive outlook on life. And she's also talking about a child by her side. Now, I don't know if this is her own child or someone else, but she's talking about a child that was close to her. And this
Yeah.
child is still here with us. She's not in spirit. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I also know that you're around water and you had brothers, but she's showing me a rowboat, and this is just an empty rowboat on still water. And I feel like there's a meaning she's getting across to you about this. It's just a very still rowboat sitting on the water. The water is completely still. And with that, she's talking about being still in your life right now and just listening and being by yourself to take in these quiet moments to try to understand a situation that's revolving around you. It may not have direct correlation with you, but some of the others that are touching you, but you just need to stay in the middle of it. It's like almost like the eye of the storm where there's peace and there's quiet. You're that eye, you're that quietness, you're that peacefulness. And she's just talking about being in that stillness. She's also talking about this child, which I feel now is an older woman. Would you understand that?
Yes, she was a child. She is older now.
Okay. She's talking about her. And I feel like she's showing me taking her hand and like guiding her. So she's making me feel like this woman needs some guidance right now. She's touching her ears. She doesn't really want to hear what people have to say, but some reason she's drawn to you and she will listen to you, as long as you're still, she's saying. She's also shown me back in her days she's taken me back in her younger life, 30s, 40s, and she just dressed simply. She wore dresses. Spiritual. I also feel she was religious too. I
Yes.
feel like there was a lot of people in the community that were friends with her. Would you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. And it's like, even when she was out walking, people were drawn to her because of her energy. Would you understand this?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. She's like, people would talk to me and tell me things about them, and they were complete strangers. I didn't even know them. Would you
Right.
understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and she's like, some of the strangest situations, I could just be sitting there and just like in my own head, and somebody would walk up and just sit down and start talking to me.
Yeah.
And she said, it's almost what you're revolving into is people being attracted to you and listening to what you say is important to them. It's coming at the correct moment at the right moment. Um, she's also shown me a candle of significance. Um, I feel like there's a candle that's being lit recently, either in honor of somebody or saying a prayer or manifesting, but she's showing me a candle being lit. Would you understand that?
Um, I have one that I didn't light this year that I usually do.
Okay,
Maybe I need to pull it out.
okay, because she's talking about lighting a candle,
Yes.
her candle, being lit. Um, She's also going back to that celestial and to that crescent moon. I feel like there's a draw to either astronomy or astrology. Um, I don't know if you're looking into that recently or have some books around you, but she's talking about that because she's showing me the celestial again, and she's showing me, the crescent moon. Would that have significance to you?
I do, but it's also the person, the young child that turned into a woman that really does.
Okay, okay, okay. That must be the correlation that she's talking about with her and listening. And I also feel like she has something to share with you too. And I don't know if you've been around her lately, but there's going to be a drawing of bringing you two together, and sharing some of these things with her.
Yeah, she just shared something with me the other couple days ago.
Okay, okay. When I asked her to put something in my hand, this is kind of strange. She's given me a hammer, and I feel like she's trying to tell you that there's something that you need to hang up. There's a picture or something that you need to hang.
Yes, that's right.
Um,
Mhm.
and she's just showing this little hammer and a little nail and like tapping this into the wall and hanging something up here. And she's adamant about getting this hung up. Um,
Yes,
and she's showing me like her back looking at this wall, just admiring what you're putting up.
yes,
So there is some significance to what she wants you to hang. Um, she's also showing me water, and I know you live near water, but she showed me like walking like on the seashore barefooted, and she's talking about being grounded and being by nature. Let the course of nature take over. And she's just like showing me these slight waves coming in and just it's going over your feet. So she's talking about, being in nature, being grounded, being going back, being quiet, being silent, um,
yes.
silent meditation. Um, and I feel like she also did this too, that she was drawn to water. I feel like, I don't know if it's me, but I'm also feeling she had something with her throat or breathing issues. Would you understand that with her?
I've had throat things. I don't know anything with her. It could have
Okay.
been,
And
but
she's
I'm not sure.
holding her throat, so it could be for you. I thought it was for her, but she's throwing, I feel like there's something with her throat. She's showing me. Um, and I know we're in the month of March, but she's also given March as a month of significance for you. Um, I feel like it's later in the month and she's having the calendar marked. It's like around the
Yeah.
27th, 28th, 29th, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Um, she she's showing me marked on the calendar. So I'm going to leave that with love and light and thank her for coming in and thank you for taking her message.
Thank you, Rini. That was wonderful. Would you like feedback?
Sure.
This is my dear friend that has passed. She's talking about my daughter, who she knew from birth until
Oh,
till um um let's see, there was something. Yeah, all the things you said, all of it was right on. But and my daughter just sent me some astrology stuff the other day.
oh, wow.
I was going to point out there, but over here, the hammer and the thing, I
Uh-huh.
just pulled out a picture like 2 days ago of my daughter and her brother. And he's 13 years older than she is. And so they're in a pool and he's a teenager and she's sitting on his shoulders, right, and
Oh,
looking down. And so it's kind of this blurry look. It's a very cool. And I thought I need a frame and I need to put it on the wall because it's not in a frame. So
oh.
that's what she's talking about.
Well, that's what she's
Um,
talking about.
yeah. And then yesterday I was at the sitting by the water and walking on the beach. Yeah, it was kind of in the wood. It's a different place. It's kind of woodsy and water.
Uh-huh.
Oh, also, we had a rowboat on a lake that was very still. So
Oh,
that was, yeah,
okay.
everything was perfect. Thank you. It's great.
Welcome. Thank you.
Rini, I thought that evidence about the hanging the picture on the wall was so interesting. So for the benefit of our YouTube audience, can you tell them exactly how you said, first of all, you saw the hammer?
Yeah.
Okay. But then how did you know after you saw the hammer what was supposed to happen after that? Because like a hammer can be a weapon, you know. So
Right.
how did you know that she wanted Elise to hang that picture up? Can you explain that to
It's
our
kind of
YouTube audience?
interesting because I asked her to give me some evidence in my hand that Elise would understand. And right away she laid this hammer. And I went, a hammer? Like, what does that have to do with anything? She's not going to understand hammer. And she said, tell her hammer. And then she showed me taking the hammer and tapping a little nail into the wall and hanging a picture. So she showed me this. She showed me actually Elise standing at the wall, tapping this in, and she watching her do this. So it was kind of interesting.
Oh, Carol, I need to add one other thing that's really significant. This March date into the
Yes,
month.
yes.
Uh, it's my daughter's son, her first son. His birthday is on the 19th of March. And
Oh,
he passed. I mean, he was born on the day my friend passed. I
Oh,
mean, the day.
okay.
Yeah. So it's very significant.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Great and great reading, Rainey.
Thank you.
All right. Who would like to go next? Joanne. Thank you. Go ahead.
I gotta say, beautiful, Rini. And I feel I'm with you. And we know that Rini has a lot of loved ones, and your mother wants to definitely, she's coming forward, but she's wanting to mention that they're all here. I was like, oh my goodness. Uh, and I am to name them. I feel like it's your sister, um, Michelle,
Yes,
your brother, Robert.
yes.
Rob, okay.
Yeah.
So she wants me to let you know that, but what she's showing me is actually, she's coming through. She's really, I love her because she reminds me a lot of my mother. She's very
Oh,
sweet, endearing, hardworking, nurturing. Like anyone would come to her house, she would feed them. Like it's
mhm.
just beautiful. And what she showed me is that she showed me this. I don't know if you're doing this or if you've done it with her, but she showed me this banana bread, but then she showed me like flowers. Like you would put the flowers in the banana bread. Would you understand that? There's something related to flowers or edible flowers to put in. And she was showing me that, and I was like, what is that? Like, have you made that? Is she planning on making that? Does she see a recipe? But and then she gave me the essence that she wants you to, and the feeling that she gave me is that to go into the kitchen and to bake. I think that she had done a lot of the baking. Would you
Yes.
understand that around that? And I feel
Yes.
that what she's sharing with me is that it's time to get in the kitchen. Um, and the feeling that
Funny
she
because
gave
I
me is
just
there's
thought that.
so much going on, and she wants you to get into the kitchen.
Yeah,
And she showed me this banana bread. I don't know if you made this banana bread or if it was
we
popular
both
that you
did.
did.
Yes, we
Okay.
both did.
And she wants you to get back into the kitchen and make that banana bread. And as I'm saying that, it's something that you can continuously do because she's giving me the feeling of, and we know this, Rini, that you're having a lot of people come to your home, but you're like, what can I do? The feeling that she's giving me, what can I do for them? And she's like, make the banana bread. And that's a feeling like cut them in little slices and just thank them that way and they'd appreciate it. And that's the feeling that she's giving me around this banana bread.
Wow.
And oh my goodness. And it's so much. And I'm just trying to stay connected with your mom, but there is someone else that's coming through. And he's coming through and I'm like, oh boy. And he's saying, this just keeps on saying this, and he says he wants to come through this way. He was the love of your life, and this is how he wants to say it.
Oh,
And with that, he is sharing that well, he knows, and I know you know, but he knows everything that you're going through. But what he's showing me is scene, and he's going back, spending time outdoors. And the beautiful time that you would spend out there and just him working on a motorcycle or a car and everything, you just sitting in that space of just being present with someone else. And he wants you to, he's trying to merging this like this message. He knows he's not there, and I want to cry. He knows he's not there, but he wants you to treat this moment of everyone coming to your home and treat it and sit back and watch the love pouring back to you.
oh,
That's what he's showing me. Like taking that moment and sitting in that space and bringing you back to that time that you would spend with him outdoors. I feel like in the driveway with him tinkering and you sitting back and watching him. He wants you to take that, I'm getting chills. He wants you to take that time to sit there and take that and also, invite them if you want them, invite them in and sit there and take that moment in because that's the expression of love. And I'm getting all emotional that your loved ones are showing themselves and we're all connected and this is how I'm getting we're all connected, we're all spiritually connected even though sometimes we don't even know, and this is what they're sharing me. Just take that in because I know that he's saying that it's been hard for her to accept help. But you've been very gracious during this time. And it's also he's telling me it's a big growth for you. That's what he's sharing me with you.
oh.
And and I and I got to say for the audience sake, uh we work with one another and we want spirit to give us evidence that we don't know. And he's bringing me a cardinal, and I know this cardinal is very significant to you, but I already know that I want something more than just this cardinal. Well, this is just me. And okay, so now he's showing me a specific cardinal, but I think it's in a wind chime. Would you understand a wind
Yep,
chime with
yep,
cardinals?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, thank you. And and he's giving me the feeling that when he's around, that's it sways, and you know when spirit's there because it starts to make sound. And he knows that you know that it's that, that it's coming in at that exact time. Thank you, Spirit. A lot of spirit, and your sister wants to jump in, and she's bringing me back to a time where she shined, and she's showing me roller skating backwards. Like she was really good on the roller skates. I don't even roller skate. I like learn later on to rollerblade. So, with that, um, sh I feel like your whole family wants to take you down memory lane to infuse during this time because I feel like the message is coming in because she's showing me this image is that she wants you to go back and relive all those moments of childhood to bring that joy back that you loved. And she's just giving me images of the disco ball and the way she was dressed with the tall bobby socks and the roller skates and um, just completely enjoying yourself in the moment and roller skating and the music and just all of that. And the feeling that she's giving me is that the awareness that she's giving me is that you have been experiencing this, but because of what you've been going through, you haven't been really truly been able to be in it. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm getting like it's time now to allow yourself to celebrate and to immerse yourself again. That's what I'm getting the feeling. Immerse yourself again, but to be really, really in the moment to celebrate and to release all the stress that you have. And she is now showing me she's bringing me this heart.
I would
It's like this
understand.
old-fashioned heart, like this old-fashioned heart, like with doily, like she should bring in like the doily on the
Yeah.
around. Okay. And I'm getting remember it, like remember it. And and the feeling is that, like immerse yourself in the memories, but live it now. And I'll leave her love and your family's love with you.
Oh, thank you. Want a little feedback?
Sure.
I do have a sister in spirit. Her name is Michelle. And I do have a little brother in spirit. His name is Robert. And my sister was a fireball. Oh my gosh, she was always doing something. So she was filled with spirit. She loved to skate. We loved to skate as kids. We were always skating. And my boyfriend that passed was the love of my life. And we did everything together. And we were always out in nature. And he was always in the driveway tinkering with my car or washing my car. And I'd just be sitting on the side watching him and talking to him. You know, he loved doing all that. And with all the work that has to be done, I'm sure he's watching because he was really good at all that stuff too. And so was my brother, so I'm sure they're both. But the heart was significant because when I was down there one day checking on that House Jackson stuff, a heart appeared. It's just this red heart, this simple heart. And I picked it up and I put it on the workbench and I said, well, this is for all the love of everybody that's sending to me, and with all this love, it's going to keep this wall standing until they start. So every time I go down there, I look at that and think of how much love is involved in all of this. And it is hard for me to take from people because I'm used to giving all the time. And so that's amazing. Um, and I've been wanting to bake something. I just haven't felt good enough to do it. And that's one of the things I was thinking of, banana bread.
Mm.
We both made really good banana bread. And I kept, yesterday they were putting in some Jackson stuff. I'm like, can I get you guys something? You know, and they're like, no. But I'm like, whenever they do get started, I'm going to be baking stuff so they have something fresh when they're there. Thank you. That was awesome.
Thank you, Rainey.
Joanne, that was just absolutely beautiful. And I have to say that I loved the piece of evidence about the cardinal that was in the wind chime. Okay.
You have that. That was a gift when my brother passed.
Do that. Okay. All right. That was fabulous. Okay. But Joanne, I wanted to ask you about when you said that you had like her whole family there. Okay. And they all came in at once to support her because, for the benefit of our YouTube audience, Reni's going through a difficult time right now. Okay. But can you tell me how, when you have all these spirits here, how can you separate one from the other and know that, like, it was the sister who was roller skating backwards? Okay. And how do you like know what information goes with which person when they come in like that together?
Well, I can sort of see them and I feel their energy. Um, her mother came forward, and then I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I felt brother that just recently passed. And then I felt her sister. And then I felt someone else like, no, I want to come in. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like a full room. And so I'm like, okay, I can't, I won't be able to really give a reading if I just everywhere. So I just wanted to stick with who was coming for the strongest and wanted to be there. And of course, that was your mother, who was the anchor of your family. And she like didn't want to step away. But then I heard someone else saying, I want to come in. And honestly, I want to cry. It's my wanting to realize I really want to step into this. And I have to have that trust and the faith that they're always going to be there. And I just want to cry because they were there for me to deliver this message for you. And I want to thank them.
Oh,
Yeah.
how beautiful. What a great message. Thank you, Joanne.
Yeah.
All right. Effie, are you feeling it?
Yeah, that was gorgeous. Oh my God, Joanne. Um, just transparency, Joanne did share that we all know each other, so I'm drawn to Tamara, and I know that Tammy's husband is on the other side. So Tamara, as your husband steps forward for you today, I do understand that the love was so strong that it's almost timeless. This beautiful, authentic, cherished love that you had together. And even though he is not here today, he does walk with you side by side everywhere you go. And I do understand that you feel him, that he's there, he's always with you. Would you understand this?
I believe often he is. Yeah.
Right. And there's also where uh, there's a picture where he's contemplating, and I'm at the beach and there's sand and I'm looking out into the water, and he's just very, very deep in thought, but a life that's very cherished, a life that he enjoyed, and he created this life for him. Would you understand this?
The picture or
The picture where he's sitting, and I want to say I'm like just looking and contemplating deep in thought, but I'm happy. I feel peaceful inside.
I'm sure there is. I can't just put my finger on it this second, but I'm sure. Yeah.
Right. And it's a picture where, when I sit back in time and I look out into into the sunsets, life is good. Life is good, and that was his life, Tamara. he had a good life. He also created this, and there's not a lot I feel that really bothered your husband. He has such a positive attitude all the time, and just stroked it over like, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Would you understand this with him?
Absolutely.
Right. And there's also I feel where he takes me to a place where I know that there's a cottage that I want to go to. And inside that cottage is where the winter comes and I can see the snowflakes. It's a four-season cottage. It's a beautiful place where the memories are abound. And in that cottage, I do feel like there's a taxidermy hanging on the wall. Would you understand this?
There in one of the family ones there was, yeah.
Right. And would you understand that it was over the where the fireplace is on top of it,
Yeah. Hmm.
right? And would you also understand that there are wide windows around this place?
Yeah.
And that is where the snow would come down, and that is where you would see the four seasons. And it's just a lovely, lovely place. I do also feel like there would be wild animals that you would see from time to time that would come close by. And I also understand that the bunnies that I want to feel, there's a bunny, there's a squirrel. It's just a very happy family place that's here. And on the mantle, Tamara, I do understand that there will be family pictures. Would you understand this?
Yes.
And it wasn't a lot of family pictures, but there was also like on the side a blanket that was there. That blanket, do you remember the Bay store? That Bay blanket that everybody had? I do feel there was this wool blanket that was always there that I want to cover myself up in when I get cold. But it wasn't just one. I do feel there was a chest of blankets that I can just go to select. Would you understand this?
That I don't recall.
That's okay. Now, would you understand it would get very cold and you needed warm clothes to wear there?
Yes.
And would you also understand that you spent some time with your husband in that place?
Yes.
And your husband, would you also understand he enjoyed that place? He liked to go there. And in that place, I do feel like there would be where he would wear these turtleneck sweaters that were very warm. And it just brings me a comfort feeling that's there. Also within this, would you understand that you would go to town? And I feel like when I walk into the places where it's almost picturesque of a little town that looks, and they're not antique stores, but it's familiar where I want to grab my coffees and teas and you would go for strolls and walk around there.
There is a little town in there nearby. Yeah.
And someone I feel would like tea more better than coffee. Would you understand this?
No, but I think I understand the tea
Right,
reference.
thank you. But then it would be coffee then, black, Tamara, that someone liked. Black coffee with no cream, no sugars. No,
No.
no, that's okay. Then it would be that. I would be then lots of cream. I mean, just let that go. But but when your husband's here, he just also makes me feel that I want to go skiing too around there. So I do feel like there were ski slopes near the area that were nearby.
True.
And would you also understand that there would be that in that place where he takes me to the ski slopes, would you understand there was also like a walk around down there nearby where you can go to coffee shops, where you can do like a little stores would be there. It was in this community-like feeling that he takes me.
Um, Not in the ones near the house.
Near the
You know,
house. Then would you understand there was a place, another place where there was a resort where there were skis. I'm skiing, but I'm also feel like I want to go around and there's stores there where I can get coffees and local stores that are connected to the ski chalet
um, in a completely different place.
place. Okay, so there were multiple places for the skiing, and that was, but it wasn't just the skiing and loving the cottage, the chalet. I also feel like your husband would have loved to go sailing and boating. Would you understand this?
Yes.
And would you also understand that he had a way of being a good captain on the boat and understanding his way around the boat?
Yes.
And would you also understand within that boat there would be people that you would invite, and there would be little parties, get-togethers with friends and family on that boat?
Yes.
And within that, I do feel there was the wine would come out, the alcohol. And it was just nice to sit around and talk with everybody and enjoy the memories, enjoy the love that he takes me on this boat. There's a way where I want to go sailing with your husband too. So would you understand going out into the water and he was able to navigate and drive the boat on his own?
Yes.
And within that, I do feel that's where he spent that time on the lake on the water, Tamara, is very precious to me, and it's something where all my fears, all my worries go away when he's on this boat. I know there's also moments when you would be on that boat with him alone. Would you understand this?
Yes.
Just you and him, and you would be downstairs. I feel like you were cooking, preparing everything, but it was your time, your special time with you and your husband on that boat. There's also picnics, Tamara. I do feel like also he takes me to places where he wined and he dined you, but places where you just spent time alone, that quiet time when everything else was abyss, but it was just you and him alone. Would you understand this?
I don't recall any picnics.
So if it wasn't a picnic, would you understand you spent time alone, eating together, going out together? It was just you and him savoring your moment, your love together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And would you understand some of those places were quieter? It wasn't big fancy places. It was just the quietness and it was just you two together,
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
right? And with this, I do feel your husband was a charmer too, Tamara. And so everybody was drawn to your husband. He's a very attractive man. I've seen a picture of him. And that's where people just loved your husband. There was not a soul around that I felt nobody did not like your husband. I keep feeling like a name I want to talk about is James that steps forward. Would you understand the name James around you, Tamara?
No.
No, and so if it's not James, I'm just going to leave that. I'm not even going to go into J, but James just comes very, very much here. Would you understand somebody else, friends or friends that would have a relative, a loved one named James? That would be no. That's okay. Now, you're right now, I feel like you're really going into your creativity with your paintings, your spirit art. Would you understand you're dabbling, you're trying something different?
Yes.
And would you understand some of this is going more into paintings, using more colors, using more uh, colors?
Yeah.
He says that he is working with you on this, on your communication, on really, really bringing out your words within your paintings. I also understand within your home, your family life, there would be beautiful paintings and portraits that are not up anymore, but they have been forwarded to other family members around you. Would you understand this?
Yeah.
And some of these are not all up on the walls. I do feel some of them are stored away. There's too many of them. I do feel I have your mother-in-law stepping forward to end the reading by saying that they're very, very proud of you, but mostly your husband, that he's going to be working with you very closely on your spirit art and your paintings and taking your hand and helping you draw what you really want to express. I feel like also you're trying to communicate with him a lot of the time on the other side. And the paintings, he said, will be helping open up your clairsentience and your aura to connect with him more fully when he steps forward into your soul. Thank you.
Thank you, Effie. Would you like feedback?
A little bit, yes.
Okay. Definitely the sailing. Yeah, like he was constantly jumping in the boat and heading out and sailing. And I think that was a very meditative time for him. I think what was coming through with the tea is that, like, the family were kind of coffee in the morning, but with foam and all that. But tea, like in the afternoon, everybody would start making tea, especially when it was, winter time, everybody's making tea. And let's see what else. Oh, the taxidermy. Yeah, that was kind of fun. At first, I thought it was one house, and then I thought, oh, okay, it's another one. And maybe I won't say what it is because that might come through and that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, the wide windows, you do see some animals around. Definitely family pictures on the mantle and a family place that was his parents' place. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tamara. And are you doing spirit art or are you painting?
I'm not doing spirit art. I've been doing some painting stuff.
Very nice.
A lot of Frida Kahlo going on here. A lot of flowers in her hair.
Love it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Effie, that was so beautiful. What I thought was really interesting about that reading is that you had like a whole pile of information that pertained to things that happened in the past. Okay, like all the stuff with the boat, okay, and the taxidermy and things like this, and that was just beautiful. But then you switched and you said that this spirit was actually aware of things that were going on in her life, and he's no longer with us, but he's talking about things that are going on in her life right now. Okay, so can you give our YouTube audience some insights on how that can happen?
Well, I did feel like it was definitely something within creativity, and I felt like really bold colors and painting. If it wasn't spirit art, she is painting. She is really bringing her expressive authenticity out through the painting, her creativity. And he was sharing that he's holding her hand, which I objectively saw while she starts to paint. He is there helping her, guide her through her paintings, which will also help open her up more. But this is also a way where I feel this connection will get stronger with her husband to blend with her more closely while she starts to paint, and also be very healing and therapeutic for her. The bold colors of blue, I knew right away that her communication, her words, that she needs to start to express herself more, but also the deep fuchsia of the purples and the pinks that were coming in. I felt like she was also painting those colors, also more bolder colors, and really trying to go deeper and deeper into the paintings.
Okay, but he's right there he
He's
told
right.
you that
I
he's there
I
with her when she's painting.
I didn't hear. I just knew it. The claircognizance. I just
Okay,
knew he
you
was like right
knew
there
it.
trying to help her
You knew it.
communicate. It's all about her mediumistic, but her spirituality to really open up further. The paintings is going to be very key for you, Tammy.
Fascinating. Okay, great job, Effie. Right, Adrian, are you feeling it?
I am. I do want to just start by saying though, my internet's been kind of wonky today. So if it gets to where you guys, notice it being out, I'll turn my video off. So I do believe though, that being said, Carol, I'm with you because I do kind of recognize the spirit that I brought in for you before.
Okay.
However, everybody please listen. So like the first thing I get is names like Ray and Billy. And then I was seeing like Ray Liotta is kind of like the reference. And then I felt like, I'm seeing like different movies like The Godfather and Goodfellas, Al Pacino. So I want to go kind of that genre.
Okay.
And and then the second thing I get is the reference to Swiss cheese. And I'm like, Swiss cheese, like what? And then as I feel into that, I feel like I want to say that the spirit is talking about like there being a lot of holes in a story. So that's kind of the reference he's giving me. Um, and then he kind of says, now that we're acquainted, we're friends, is what he's kind of saying to you. Um, so let me just kind of check in real quick and see if any of this is making sense so far.
Yes, and I'm going to tell our YouTube audience that this is going to get real interesting real quick.
Okay. And okay. And then I feel like too, he wants to kind of talk about like gratitude. Like I feel like he's being thankful for the fact that you are realizing like there's more to him and his story. And that's the other reason he wants to kind of come in and he kind of says like he just got got caught up. Like it got to be like he was too involved and too caught up in like the moment. And then he was like in over his head is kind of like the feeling I get with that. Uh he also talks about being like a bird that got their wings clipped. So I don't know if like he felt like he was going to really take off and then he kind of got stunted in that. That's how it feels. Um, and then he also wants to kind of talk about the questions with his passing, because I know there's a lot of questions out there as far as that goes. And he just kind of says it really doesn't matter, like the exact details, the exact how and why and whatever doesn't really matter because I feel like he's kind of just like it's over and it's done. So what's the big deal? He's kind of just very straightforward. Would you understand that about him? Like he's a very straightforward type of individual?
Yes.
Okay. He doesn't beat around the bush is the feeling I get. Let me see what else he has here. And I feel like he wants to talk about, okay, with him, there being a fair amount of like conspiracies and like possibilities and things that people put out there, especially after his passing. And I feel like he's kind of like referencing laughing about it to a degree because he's like some of it's just very comical because it's so out there and so extreme and um so I feel like he's bringing this humor into it, to be honest, because yeah, it feels like it, it just isn't really being told correctly, but that's what makes him an enigma, I think. Um, so yeah, he's kind of talking about that, but also uh, I feel like he's kind of recognizing again, he's kind of going back to like I almost feel like he's two different people in a way. Would you understand like two different
Very much.
personalities?
Very
Okay.
much. Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like he's kind of talking about like there's one version. Okay. There's one version of him where he's like, like little devil on the shoulder.
Mhm.
Like where there's like the little devil and then there's like the little angel on the other shoulder. And like that's what he's kind of talking about, like these two different versions, like good and bad. And it's kind of flip-flopping depending on the situation, is kind of what he says. Um, okay. And I feel like that there's something like within society or the media or a combination of the two that kind of tend to talk more about the side that would have the little devil on the shoulder because it makes it like more exciting or more like it sells more, to be honest, than like the positive aspects.
Mhm.
And I think that's what he wants to come in and reference is like there was a lot of good too, because I feel like would you understand with him doing a lot within his community or trying to help his community as well?
Yes.
Okay. And he's like he feels like that gets kind of washed over
It
because
does.
okay, okay, thank you. Um, because that doesn't sell as much. Books and stories and whatever, like it doesn't sell in the same way. Because people are almost more intrigued by like the dark side or the devil side or whatever you want to say. Like they're
Mhm.
more intrigued with that. Um, and he also feels like there's a lot of twists and misconceptions and well, he says straight up lies as far as what
Mhm.
that is. Um, yeah, just to kind of get those cells. And I almost want to say it feels like number, like it's like a number of people it's trying to bring to the table or something like that. And so I think he's coming in today with just a lot of gratitude and gratefulness to you, because he also was very much a family man. And
Yes.
as much as, you know, there was the good and bad sides, like that to him was the really good and the really positive. And it kind of got overlooked. Um, and so like he just kind of is coming in and saying like how much he loved his family and how much they loved him. Um,
Mhm.
and I feel like he wants to kind of reference in the beginning a lot of the things he did was to kind of help them. Like that was kind of like the goal, was to kind of put them in a better spot, maybe
Right.
financially or whatever that might be. But then it just kind of got twisted and you know, kind of just went astray, I guess is what would be the best way. Um, and I feel like he wants to also kind of put out an apology toward like the family and the family members, because it also kind of left like a little bit of a tarnish on their name. Or would you understand that? Like it kind of,
I understand that. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Understand why he'd feel that way.
okay, okay, thank you. Um, and for that, he apologizes because that was never the intention. And he's kind of coming in a little bit confused as far as like, how did that really even take off in the media? Like, how was that such a big deal? Like he's almost confused, like how it even got as big as it did, I guess. Um,
Okay.
so I feel like he's kind of tipping his hat and saying, all right, I'll step out now. But he just wanted to kind of let it be known. And he thanks you so much for being the one to kind of bring this more to light, so he could have that opportunity. Uh, so with that, I'll leave his love and thank him for coming in. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Adrian. Okay. And so I will tell our YouTube audience that the man that Adrian just brought in for me is very well known. His name is Jimmy Hoffa. And when you think back in terms of all of the information that Adrian gave to me, everything that he said makes perfect sense. But it's my opinion, okay, that obviously the circumstances surrounding his disappearance were terrible. I do not believe anybody deserves to cross that way. Okay. Um, and this is, it makes me happy to know that he's happy, that at least I understand how awful this was, you know, that he didn't get the opportunity to say goodbye to the people that he loves. Okay. But by the same token, um, the one thing that I want to ask Adrian about, okay, is the fact that this is not a person who I knew well. Okay. But it opens up a talking point here. So, Adrian, I want to ask you, okay, what's your thoughts in mediumship about like obviously people get messages from their loved ones and their family members in spirit. Okay. What about these people who are very, very far out? You know, people who taught us in second grade, or, you know, who we may have passed on the street, you know, how do they play into mediumship like this one just did? Okay, can you speak to that?
Well, I will just say from my understanding, and you know, that's pretty limited. But um to me, I feel like in the bigger scheme, we're all kind of connected, like collectively. Like we're not just one individual. Like we all connect to one another in some sort of way. So I just feel like, even if it was one person you even met one time, you don't know how you can affect them in the bigger scheme. And sometimes they want to come back and let you know that, you know. So I think spirit is just very wise and very more knowledgeable than like any of us on this realm. And so, I think they know what they're doing. And so I trust when it comes in, even if it's not somebody that you know as closely, there's a reason, you know? And it's either to help you individually or as whole as like a collective. But yeah, there's always a reason for it. And I just trust that, whatever whoever comes through needs to come through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what Adrian just said there makes perfect sense to me. Okay. Because let's just say I didn't have a personal relationship with this man. Okay. But I feel compassion for him. And, perhaps this is the reason, that he has come in, to see me. So thank you for that. That was awesome. Appreciate it. All right, we have Tammy and Elise. Tammy, go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I can go ahead and go. This man isn't quite as lively as I've been getting lately. So he seems kind of serious, in fact. And he would be a male on the probably maternal side. I think he's feeling very much like an uncle, but he could have been he also could have been someone you learned from. I would think that there's a photo somewhere of him. I feel like it's a sepia type of photo, and I feel that he's got those kind of horn-rimmed glasses on. He just feels kind of serious. In this photo, it's sepia, but I also feel like the suit he's wearing, it feels kind of like, it's kind of wool. It kind of feels like brown wool. And he feels, while he feels serious, he also does show me out in the yard he's got a glove, so he's with somebody. He's throwing they're throwing a baseball back and forth. It's not like heavy duty, like, ready to start a serious game or anything, but that he's with a young person. And so he does show me that he was able to do that. Even though he was serious, he was able to do something like that. And he also shows me, and then I'm going to check in with you. He also shows me there's something about index cards, and I feel like we keep going through index cards, and I feel things are written on these cards, and they're filed. There's something important about these index cards, and I'm going to feel into that a little bit more as soon as I find out who I'm with. Also, I'm feeling, although I'm not really getting a name like but I'm feeling kind of like an S, or like an S sound to the name. And so let me just see. Let me just check in with who I'm with here today. Who's he here for? Kind of a serious man, sepia photo.
I'm listening. Tammy, I'm in between two people.
Okay. Well, he'll help separate it then. How about the S, like that S kind of in the name, like either there is an S, like a Sean.
There's this S in one of their names.
Okay, thank you.
Effie, can you fix your audio?
Sorry, there's an S in one of the names. Significant, yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Effie. Okay, so he would you understand? I'm just going to go into these because these index cards just seem so important, and I feel that that on the index cards, the handwriting is very exact and meticulous, and I feel that these index cards are also, they're in some kind of, he's showing me that they're in some kind of there isn't like an office space, and I do feel like it's an office space in a home. Would you understand these a reference to index cards?
I understand an office space in a home.
Okay, but the index cards,
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Have you ever been?
I'm listening.
Release.
Well, I understand the index cards in a box. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't gotten a box, but I've just gotten these
Oh,
index cards.
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Okay, thank you.
Patient. Yes.
Okay, and Rini too?
I'm listening to. It's not an uncle though, but I can take the S name with him. I can take the index cards.
Okay, can you take the uncle, Elise?
No, it's not an uncle.
Okay, and how about you, Effie? Would this be an uncle?
It's an in-law.
An in-law, okay. Okay, that would fit. Okay, let me keep going and see if we can get some separators. I also feel that this man taught something because he shows me standing at a whiteboard, even though I think I'm not sure during his time if he would have used a whiteboard or a blackboard, but he's showing me a whiteboard. So I do feel that he's either teaching or he's going over a meeting. And I do feel that in this meeting, I don't see any women. I see just men in this meeting. And I feel that there are 4 or 5 men in this meeting and they're discussing something. And he's making notations on the board.
I would understand that.
You would understand it, Rini?
No.
How about you, Elise? No. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. And how about you, Effie?
I understand, yes. Being a lot of meetings and presenting. I don't know if there were only men, but he
Okay.
did do that.
Okay. And Rini, would you understand that there are only men in this meeting?
Yes, only men. Yes, and he would be instructing them. Yes, on a
Okay.
whiteboard.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me just keep going to get a little bit more. And you would understand the throwing, because all of a sudden it's come back to me again, the baseball, like throwing a baseball.
That would be his grandson. Yeah.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, thanks so much. Okay, so I'm probably with you, Rainey, but keep listening, Effie, just in case. And let me just have him go with me to, okay, he's also now bringing me to a car. So he's in this car, and I'm feeling like this car is like an older type of car. It feels kind of older and clunky. And I feel like this is a car that he had, maybe for a long time or like before, and I want to say before, kind of
Mm-hmm.
understand that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, he also shows me that it's a standard shift that, would you remember this car? Because he shows me there's something about trying to get it in gear. Like, I'm like, why does this thing is so hard to get into
I'd
gear?
have
Would
to
you?
think about that. I know he did have issues with a car. It could
Okay,
be
thank you.
that.
Letting him just go away with this. He also shows me that he would have been very good in understanding this car because he shows me that he can look in the hood. He can show me he can go
Yeah.
underneath the car. Would understand. He could look for anything that would be wrong with this car.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The inside of it, I'm feeling like that's a weird feeling because I'm seeing one thing, but I'm feeling horsehair. So I'm feeling like it's like an old enough car. I'm feeling like there was horsehair like in the seats or something. So I'm kind of, would you recall that it's that age?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You. Um, oh, that's interesting. Oh, so he's just totally just brought this whole other thing. Okay, let me just, either somebody else has stepped in or, oh golly, okay. Oh gosh, this is so funky. I'm just going to give this to you because, okay, that's right. Okay, somebody else is stepping in. Okay, somebody else is stepping in, and I'm feeling like it's your sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
They were connected. Yeah.
I can tell you what I'm seeing is I suddenly got this big like flower that was made, so a crafted flower with a long kind of stem, that like on a stick type thing that just kind of came into my vision. But I feel like it's something that she could attach to something, and I'm almost feeling like it goes on the head. So there's some kind of a flower that would go on a hat or your head. Somehow you would wear
Talking
the.
about a Halloween costume that was a flower and your head went through it. Yeah.
Okay. She's
Yep.
trying.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because there was this feeling of her doing this.
Yep. Yep.
As she's coming, as
Yep.
she's flower showing me. But okay, so.
Oh my
Uh,
God.
So both here, they're showing me that they are both very happy. They are this uncle who felt so serious in the beginning and very kind of, a little bit stern. I see him now with the two of them are like holding hands
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and laughing, and he's acting like he's found his inner child. And the two of them, and it's so funny to see them like this because he's older. He's
Mm-hmm.
serious and she's younger,
Yep.
but they're
Yep.
acting like teenagers.
Yep.
And kind of hip bumps and hands and
Yeah, she would be doing that to him. Yeah.
okay. And so they just want to they're bringing kisses. Mwah.
Aw.
We're happy. We send you our happiness
Aw.
best we can through the difficult times you're going through, and try to stay positive. Yeah, they say.
Aw.
And they're giving me little zingers here now. So I'll leave you with that, Rainey.
Oh my gosh, I have been waiting for him to come through. That was my sister's fiance. He passed a year ago. And they were so close, and he was older than her. And she was just always dancing around and doing this stuff and pulling him on the dance floor. And he could work on any car. He worked in construction, so he would have the whiteboard and all the men, and he would be telling them their jobs and showing them the drawings of what was going on with the job. Um, what was the other thing you said? Oh, the flower. My mom wanted to be a butterfly one Halloween, and she wanted me to be a flower. So I was the sunflower, and it was this big flower was cut out. You put your head in it, and so I was this, and it had the big long stem, and I was all dressed in green, and she was the butterfly. So that was very significant. But I've been wondering if they're finally together because they were the love of each other's life, you know.
They are, and they look very, very happy. I have to say.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. That was very good. Thank you.
You
Oh,
know,
and the cards were significant.
oh yes, okay, the cards, because that was really strong there. Like that was really wanted to show me these cards. So
Yes, well, what they were was we were both massage therapists. And when we were going through anatomy, she had me make up these index cards and put the name of the muscle and all the actions and the insertion points. And so we would study them. So she's like, carry them with you in your car, in your purse, wherever you go, and pull these cards out and study one muscle, even if you have 5 minutes, because it'll stick in your head because you're seeing it and you're reading it. So they were very significant. And then she kept them in her office in her house, and I kept them in the office in my house.
okay, thank you so much, Rainey.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, they were very significant.
Lovely, really lovely.
Beautiful reading, Tammy. Okay, but I have a question for you about I don't even think you were aware of it, but when the female spirit came in, okay, you started to go like this on the screen. Okay, which Tammy does not normally do. Okay, but as soon as that spirit came in, you started this crazy motion like this, okay? And so I wondered if like you can give some insight on how spirit can inadvertently make you do things with your body that you, Tammy, don't do.
Yeah, it's interesting because unlike the glasses that happened a few weeks ago, this I was totally unaware I was doing. And I think, much to what we all know, that we're all connected, and the energy comes in. When we're connecting with that energy, that's kind of the feeling that she was giving me, and so my body just started reacting to that because we are all connected. And so, and I'm, I'm getting another little zinger here. So they're like, yeah. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay.
Oh, and I forgot about the baseball. They had bought some property out in the country, and they would bring all the family in and all the grandkids, and he would play ball with the boys on the field there.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Great
Thank you.
job. All righty, Lisa, are you feeling it?
Of course. Maybe. Rini, I am drawn to you, but everyone else, please listen because
Yeah.
who knows where this will go. And it's starting out very unusual. This is new for me. But I'm seeing an angel. And I always have a hard time saying that. I don't know why, like an angel. Okay, well, anyway, this white ethereal angel. And I just feel like you have been seeing that or feeling that or having that around you.
Yep. Yes, that's very significant. Yes.
I just keep seeing this, and I don't know why I have because people kind of roll their eyes. I guess I'm not even sure, but
That's
good.
very significant.
So there's angels, but there's also, there's a person connected to this, and also with the angels, there's an angels and a sports team. Who I don't know who that is. But so it's a man. There's a man here that's there's a man here with the angels. And so he's talking about a sports team as well. He's talking about a sports team. And he's bringing me the name Joe. I don't believe his name is Joe. There's a Joe around him.
I have an Uncle Joe
Okay,
instead.
yeah. Joe and so this person, this guy, this feels like your brother. And so, and I've talked with him before. We're pals, I guess. So I asked him to bring me something that I don't know anything about. So he takes me to his childhood, very young. He's a very young boy, and mischievous, very mischievous. And all of a sudden he's giving me stomach issues, but that was older. But he's a young boy and he's playing with matches and started this little fire. He started a fire.
That was his brother that started the fire.
Okay. I was like, show me something I don't have any, I've never.
That was his brother.
Okay. Yeah, he's talking about this little.
Oh, no, he did start a fire. Him and my other brother started a fire.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
I remember him telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yay, good. Because I said, please give me something that I'm not.
Oh my gosh, that was very significant in his child.
Yeah, so his eyebrows are kind of going up and down like Groucho Marx. He's like doing the little because he was mischievous. He was a very good man, and did wonderful things.
Yeah.
Because as a little boy, he was mischievous. And oh wow, he's saying sometimes he did things that someone else might have been blamed for, like another brother would have been blamed for. Because he could kind of get away with things more.
Yeah.
This other brother that seems close, they're close in age.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
This back to back. And he seemed to have the light shining on him, he said. And he would get away with more. And the other brother kind of took the brunt of it all. Yes. Let's see, what else? Let's give me some more new things. Let's go to some new places. He's talking about traveling to new lands, And he's talking about going out of the country, but it feels like there were places that were on his list, like his bucket list, but he did not get to go. Okay, this is a stretch. He's showing me Tibet all of a sudden. Do you understand a connection with?
I always want to go to Tibet.
Okay, maybe he's talking about you going, taking these trips. Yeah, he's showing me Tibet.
His sister-in-law was like from China. And I
Oh,
think Tibet's close to
okay.
China, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay, let's see what else. He's kind of all over the, well, I told him to show me different things, but he's all over. Give me something, something. He's talking about a boating incident. A boating incident. He's talking about skiing and water skiing.
Yeah. Yep, he had a boat. He water skied. Yeah.
Incident. There's a running out of gas. Running out of gas.
That's a possibility.
And someone, I don't think it wasn't him, but there was someone on the boat that got injured, not seriously, but got a little twist, a little. There's some female that's on the boat that had a crash and got a little. He says a little twisted.
That I don't know, but I
Okay.
know of another boating incident where ran out of gas,
Okay.
and I was involved in that. I could have been the
Okay.
female in that one.
Okay, what else is he talking about? He's also talking about poker all of a sudden. There's some poker playing going on here.
They may have did that when they went to hunting camp.
Poker. Yeah, he says I'm not a gambling man, but there was a little bit of that going on. He's also talking about a younger boy, younger man, he's saying. Okay, what's he saying? There's a younger boy, younger man. Okay. Yeah, so I'm hesitating because I feel like I know he's talking about, well, he's showing me who he's talking about. And I already know some information about this younger boy, younger man. So I want him to give me something that's not known. They were very close, he says. When this boy was younger. But there was an incident where he changed a lot. This younger boy, he grew into a man. And he changed a
I
lot.
think I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, in personality and actions, and then
Yes.
he's just changed.
That person had a sudden.
Yeah, sudden change. But do you understand that they were very close when this younger was?
Yes.
Yeah, they were like this. It was almost like father and son.
Yes.
And so he taught him all sorts of things and took him places and taught him to fish and and he's with your brother is with heavy heart in where this young man has to, he says, has to journey now. He says it is part of his journey, and it's hard, it's difficult for him, and it's difficult for those around him, because he does strange things. He does strange things. And he says he truly does not mean to do those things. It doesn't make it feel any better. It doesn't look any better. It doesn't, change what's happening. But he just wants you to know, he says, to ease your heart, that he does not, he has no control over what's happening in his mind and his body. And he has no control. It doesn't mean you need to step in and do anything or be anything other than who you are and what you need to do for yourself. Take care of yourself, he said, take care of yourself. But know that it's not him. It's not really him. And so he wants to give you a hug and a kiss and wrap you up. He's just behind you, like he has his arms around you, behind you. Saying all of the, okay, you will be okay, you will be better than okay. We are all here loving and watching, and we have a big circle around you, just holding you in love and guidance. And I leave you with this love.
Beautiful. Sherry's talking about my son. My son was perfectly fine, and he had a sudden cardiac death. He died and was brought back. He was in a coma for days. He was never quite right after that. And he would do things, and when I would call my brother, he'd say, "You got to understand, he doesn't have his right mind about him. Something happened when he died. He doesn't think like we do anymore." And so you just got to step back and know that it's not you, it's him, and he's just not thinking right. So
Yeah, he's still saying it. He's still reminding you that.
yeah, so I can still hear him on the phone saying, I'd say, "Oh my gosh, this is what happened." And he's like, "Reenie's not the same person that we knew, And as a little boy, my brother loved taking him out on the boat and take him to the circus and do all kind of stuff because it was like the first little boy and he didn't have a son. So it was like he took him under his wing, he loved being with him. But we could never figure out after that happened to him why he would do some of the things that he did. But I do feel like my whole family's around, and when I go downstairs, it's like you're pushing these pictures at me because like I'll pull something out and I'll find this picture and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot all about this. And so it's just really cool to, see the pictures, and like Joanne was saying about the heart, go down there and see this heart laying in the middle of the floor. So it's like they're sending me a message that, we're loving you through all of this. So thank you for that.
Oh, can I ask you one thing about the angels? Because I've never had angels come in.
Yeah, yesterday I looked and I forgot I had put this, a friend of mine's daughter had passed away and she had this huge angel and she gave it to me. So I feel like that's my guardian angel watching over. But I have another friend, she's like, "I'm painting you an angel." And she showed me this most beautiful picture of the angel, and her sister had said to her, "But you don't have a face on it." And I said, "You don't need a face on an angel." And she said, "Good." She said, "Because that's what I'm painting for you." And then my other friend says, "I'm making you an angel because I feel like you need
Gosh.
to be surrounded by angels." So, yeah. And I've been asking my guardian angel and the 4 major archangels to watch over my property. So, yeah. Spot on. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That was very good. Thank you.
All right. Well, Elise, okay. You brought up a point at the very beginning of your reading that I thought was kind of interesting. Okay. And that was the fact that you said that you thought you had talked to the spirit before, but you were going to ask that spirit to give you information you he had not told you before. Okay. So can you explain why that's important in ethics of mediumship?
Yes, because I do know things about him. We have met before, not in real life, but anyway, he comes in and talks to me often. And so it's like, I don't want to just say the same thing again. I mean, I know that, he knows that, and I need something else to show that he's really here. It's not somebody else, or that I'm just repeating what I've already gotten before. And so for myself, especially, it was like, okay, show me something that we haven't seen, or we don't know. And it's great what he did show me, because Renee didn't even remember that he did that.
Oh, I completely
His
forgot
brother
about
did
that fire, and I remember him telling me about him and his brother. His brothers, they were only like 13 months apart
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something. They
like
were very close, and they were always into mischief together. And we had apartments when we were little growing up, and they went back and started this fire that was just supposed to be a little fire, but it got out of hand. And like, he said they were so scared that they were going to be grounded forever after that.
So
I
I was
forget
pleased.
about
It's like,
that.
okay, thank you, because he's never
Yeah,
talked about fires
yeah,
before,
that
or
was
starting them.
good evidence. Great.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, great job, everybody. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shut us down with a prayer. If everyone would join me, please. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Thank you for this gift of mediumship that you've given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless all of our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy into the lives of people who have sorrow, health into the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Thank you for the lessons that you've given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen. And thank you, people in YouTube land, for stopping in. We'll be online next Saturday, same time. Hope to see you there, although be aware, clocks change in the United States tonight. Okay? Thank you.